Hello everyone, it's NASCAR Gaming 10 back here with another NASCAR Heat 4 career mode video. If you didn't check out the last video, quickly go watch the video because it gives you all the details. Because if you can see here, I've gotten into the Monster Energy Cup series here, and just go watch the last video to find out why I'm doing this. So I've done all the hot seats already. We're going to join Chip Ganassi Racing. I was thinking about joining Hendrick Motorsports, but then I decided to not. So I'd race with them in a different season. But I'm going to replace the 42 car, and my primary one is going to be the Credit One Bank, I think it's called, with the Pro League on it. That would be like my primary kind. Then my secondary would be the McDonald's one, which is like the ones that I will mostly use. Then this one will be the one that I mostly use. Then this one I'll use for the Charlotte racetrack for all of the army kind of race. Then for the Xfinity series, I will race in that still, but I'm not going to start a team just yet. I'll do that I'll do it after this season, just so I have a bit more money. But I decided to join Team Penske and replace the 22 car of Austin Cindric. Now that would be the main paint scheme, and I'm going to be using that one quite a lot. So the first one I will use quite a lot. Then the one with the like rainbow, that'll be the secondary. Then the red kind of one will be I'll use that a few times. Then for the white, red and black, that'll only be used a few times as well. But the last one will be for the Charlotte one, that will be. So once I actually start my own team, I am thinking about if I can try to get some of you guys to race in the team, so then I could see how well you guys do. And what I do, and here's also all the settings. I'd be having it on Legend 25% and stuff for the Cup Series, but then for the for Xfinity, I'll have it only on 7%, and have it on strict yellows either way. It would stay on legend mode. I decided to, because when I used to have it on hard, I was finding it way too easy actually, so I decided to actually bring it up a bit of a level to put it on legend and keep it that way. So when we came to Daytona, I actually qualified in last place, and whilst I was qualifying, I thought my lap times were actually very good, but they weren't. Apparently they were very bad, but we'd gained one spot since the 78 had to go to the back since he changed his engine after qualifying, I believe. But what I will do for the Xfinity series, I will always show some of the highlights and show you guys what happened during the race. It'll be around 2 minutes long, I reckon, so not too long. So it would be 7%, so no stages, unless I change it in the near future. But then later on in the race, we actually made our way up the field. Actually, we made it into the top 20, I believe, and I was actually finding it quite easy with only 7% on. But that's what I was going to do. But then later on, on lap 7, we actually had Noah Gragson spin out, and I actually timed it right to actually just go to the inside and take the lead before that caution came out. So I took the lead, but then on the restart, I actually dropped back 2 spots, but then gained 1, and then we came on the white flag, then came out of the final turn to try to pass the 0-1, but just barely got. But we'll finish in second place. So a good start to the season for Xfinity series. So hopefully I could do better in the next race for the Xfinity series. So we'll be in second place on the point standings, and Stefan Leitch will lead. Cup series, I really did not feel like I was going to get any good kind of qualifiers. So I was thinking about just like not bothering to qualify, but I decided to actually do it because might as well give it a shot. But I didn't think I'd have a single chance because I was like 2 seconds off. so that'll be last place. But on pole position would be Alex Bowman here now, with Kyle Busch along his side. Jimmy Johnson are looking quite fast as well though today, because normally he'd be in like 20th or something. But clearly he's looking quite fast today. Then our teammate Kurt Busch in 16th, so I've got a lot of ground to make up here during this race.
We're live from Daytona International Speedway for today's running of the Great American Race. Another season of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup racing is about to get underway. The drivers are in their cars and the sold-out crowd is on their feet. It's time for NASCAR racing.
So Ryan Preece will be going to the rear of the field since he changed his engine after qualifying. Then Alex Bowman on pole position, and Daniel Hemrick failed optical scanning station multiple times, so he's going to go to the back as well, so we'll gain 2 spots. But we'll have to sadly start on the outside lane here now. But as long as I gain a few spots, I would be fine just not really starting on the outside lane, which did make me very happy. But we would take the green flag here at Daytona for the first time in the Cup Series. So we're going to have the Cup Series race on 25%, so these episodes might be a bit more longer here now, so they'll be around 25 minutes long or something. So I will try to maybe cut them a bit below like 20 minutes or something. But as we came out of turn 1, we actually had quite a few problems, because the outside lane always has like a great start, but then they always end up going to the back. And then I dropped back down 1 position, but then I had the 8 of Daniel Hemrick to help me out though at least, which was the good thing. I wasn't very comfortable on the outside lane though, because I saw a gap between David Reagan and the 47 there, but then the 8 kept on pushing me, so I couldn't get into that gap to get to the inside lane, so I just allowed him to push me really. I wasn't really happy with it, but I just allowed him to do it because it will gain us a few spots, but not that many that I was expecting. But what happens really. So just have to try to run the outside lane. But then he actually started dropping back a little bit, but then the 14 car actually would go wherever I go. See, he's not really going to let me go anywhere either. Then we have the 30 of David Reagan trying to push, but I finally found a gap so I could get to the inside lane. So I'd finally get to the inside of the 4 car here now. So I knew that I'd now gained a few more spots, but then later, 1 lap later, we actually see some smoke ahead of us there, where that'll actually bring out the caution, because clearly, because that's Daniel Suarez, and he actually blew a tyre, I believe, so that had brought out the caution flag here at Daytona for the first time, with only 4 laps completed, so not what I was expecting. But it's been tough for Alex Bowman though. He's literally dropped very far back to 19th place, so extremely unfortunate for him so far this race. Clearly he wasn't meant to, clearly that's just not meant to happen, but we'll gain 1 spot here since Daniel Suarez had to pit, so we'll move up to 28th place. So we made our way up the field a little bit more, but we'd go green again starting on lap 7 here now, so hopefully we could get a bit more ground. But we have William Barn behind us, which the driver who I'm looking forward to actually being a teammate with as well, maybe in a few seasons. But that's 71 though. He actually had a bit of a problem on that restart. Well, the outside lane, the entire outside lane did really, so I saw a gap and went into the inside, so I don't pick up too much damage on the car. But it wasn't looking too well, because I actually started to go a bit slow down the back straightaway really. And Kurt Busch was still up there at the front really, he was, so I was a bit disappointed in myself. But the 47 though, he was one heck of a helper at stakes. He really helped me get up the field. He made me gain quite a lot of spots. So I actually made a huge mistake here by making it 4 wide, because I thought the 43 on the very outside there was gonna actually slow down and no longer be on the outside of those drivers. But I was wrong. He was actually quite fast down that straightaway, so we ended up making some contact there. But then a few more laps later, we actually made our way up the field. But then we have another caution come out. I couldn't figure out what happened though, because nothing was on the highlights, so I could not find out what happened, because clearly Daniel Hemrick blew his engine, I think, so that's what I believe what had happened there. But we made a few more spots. We've moved up to 22nd here now, and we've only got a few more laps here for stage 1, so I still tried to gain some more spots to get into the points area, but I don't think it would be enough, where we'd only have 3 more laps here for stage 1. And again, I was not comfortable with the outside lane, but the 12 car didn't look like he had a very good restart here either, and neither did the outside lane at all, because quite a few drivers kept on going to the outside, kept on going very high up, and I lost quite a lot of spots there. I lost like 5, I think, and that was extremely unfortunate, because I think I dropped back to like 28th or something, and I was extremely disappointed with the drivers on the outside, because they were terrible there, but I managed to get back to the inside and have some more help from David Reagan and the 43 car behind me. But we're about to pass the line with only 2 more laps to go here for stage 1, and I was 12 spots out of the point standings, but we actually came to the white flag a few laps later and made a few more spots, made it up to P18th place there. And it would not be enough to make it into the points, but it would be enough to make it near the points to get ready for that for the next stage. And it was quite a photo finish here for the last couple of positions, because we were 3 wide, and I thought I was gonna somehow get 13th place, but it didn't happen really. But Ryan Newman, he will come to win stage 1 here, so that will be the first stage win of the season. And I didn't think it was going to be Ryan Newman. I thought it had been like Kyle Busch or something, because he was in 2nd place for pretty much the entire race. But then apparently he just lost it really. But everyone would come down pit road here, where I wouldn't have a good pit, where I wouldn't have gain any spots. But Ryan Blaney, he'll gain 1 spot here, and we take the green flag here again to restart on stage 2 here now. And luckily I was on the inside lane this time, so I was much more comfortable. And the 95 decided to make it go in the middle here, so I decided to make it go 3 wide. And the middle lane and the outside lane were actually doing quite terrible, so I managed to gain quite a few spots there. And I had 48 to my outside. But then I started losing speed because I couldn't get in the draft with anyone. But Kurt Busch, our teammate, in 3rd place, so he's doing quite well there, he is. And I had no help from anyone, so that was extremely unfortunate for me. Because Brendan Gohan, he could have helped me out, but I didn't want to go to the outside lane, so I knew that I would lose a lot of spots there. But then I barely managed to get past that 10 car, so I managed to gain the spots back there really. And then once I got past Kyle Busch or Matt Bernardino, I'd finally get into the points area, which would be very good, and I did. And really, later on in the race, it was quite a battle between me and Michael McDowell. He was leading for a few laps, and he was actually looking quite strong today, and I was surprised by that, because he's only a 4-star driver, but then a few laps later we'd finally take the lead. And actually lead for a couple of laps, but then the 20 was looking very strong and looked for an outside. And I didn't really bother battling with him, because I knew that he would be faster on the outside lane with me on the inside lane, going a bit more slower than what he would go, so he'd get clear and take the lead away from us. I tried to stay in the draft with him, but then he kept on moving a bunch of lanes and made me get a bit loose and go off the track a little bit. But the 20 car was just too strong for me to catch up to, so I did need some help, and luckily the 00 came to help me out here around 2 laps later, and we'd finally get past that 20 car again here at Daytona. And I was really shocked if I was going to get the stage win here, but the 20 car just looked way too strong for me to handle, and we only had 2 more laps to just hold him off here now. But then he actually had some help from someone there, he did, but I quickly barely just blocked off that double zero. But then when we actually came out of turn 2 here now, the 20 somehow really got a lot of speed there, and the caution actually came out, and that would have ended the stage, so he stole that stage win for me. So we'd only get 9 points in that stage, but I couldn't figure out what happened with whoever it was again. So I believe someone just blew their engine, and I feel like whenever someone blows their engine it will never show. But I thought I would get that stage win there, but sadly we didn't. But we had to overtake Eric Jones on pit road there now, so we'll take pole position away from him. Where we take the green flag back here now for the final stage, where we have quite a lot of laps to complete here, so I've got to really have a good strategy here for pit strategies, because I'd have to make at least one green flag pit stop. And if I was going to pit a different time than the other drivers, that would make me go like a lap down or something. And then if a caution came out and they were going to come down pit road, then that would just be very unfortunate for maybe a driver who does that. But then when we came on to lap 32, I had my teammate behind me, but then I had the 17 and the 2 car on my outside. But then luckily the 1 car came to help me out, so the 2 teammates working together to try and take the 1-2 spots at the front. Then he started slowing down for some reason, and I was like, has he got a problem with the car, or is he just slowed down for some reason, or is he not going to help me out? But then he actually finally came back to help me out. But it wasn't quite enough to get to Ricky Sash Jr.'s inside in turn 1, well at the start of turn 1, but then he decided to go outside for no reason really there, and just allowed me to take the lead really. So me and Kurt Busch would try to take 1 and 2 spots together, so Chip Ganassi race and could maybe just somehow finish in the 1-2. But that did not happen, because on lap 35, actually no, that's later on in the race actually, so I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to spoil it until we get there. But the 12 car actually looked quite strong, because my teammate Kurt Busch actually decided to help him out instead of me, and then I had a bit of trouble in turn 3 there, because everyone was all over the place, and double zero, the 48, wanted to help me out, but I was going to drive with the 48, but when he pushed me, he went lower, and I was like, what is he doing? So then I ended up going to the double zero, but I wanted to go with the 48. Now, on lap 38, this is where I got screwed over, because clearly, when I was coming down pit road, the 12 overtook me, so I don't really care. But when I came down pit road, I pretty much made a huge mistake, really. Well, I didn't make a mistake down pit road, I didn't speed or anything, but when I came down, I didn't know if I should take tires or not, because I didn't know if the tires that I had would last long enough, because I had 13 more or 12 more laps really left to complete, and I didn't think that was going to last long enough here. So hopefully So when I actually came off pit road here, I was hoping that I would not get overlapped, but then when I saw the map, they were already there, and I knew that I had no chance, but then they started to actually like slow down, but I knew why they were slowing down, but then later on they did overlap me sadly, and then the caution actually came out when I was a lap down, so I was extremely, I was not happy at all that the caution came out. But the good news was that I'd get on the lead lap, bad news is that I'd have to be all the way at the back, sadly. Now it's extremely unfortunate really for me, because I was doing quite good there, but David Reagan would be out of the race, because he blew off his engine, and I was like, oh thank goodness he did not, thank goodness I was actually a lap down and he wasn't yet. Then I wouldn't have got the free pass. So luckily he did really, and we only had 5 more laps here. Brendan Gaughan got a terrible start though, so a tough break for him. But then I got screwed over here again because of Jamie McMurray and Ryan Newman really. So That was a bit more unfortunate again, since I got hardly any spots. But at least I was back on the lead lap, and then 2 laps there, the caution would actually come out, and then I actually managed to get past them finally. But then the caution came out, and then I was a bit more happy because then it would give me a bit more time so I could catch back up to them. But I was on the outside lane, which was a bit more annoying. But I would have to just deal with it really, because I needed the spots. And I just tried as hard as I can to just try and take back that lead really. Because if I wasn't gonna try, then I was just gonna finish in a bad spot. So we take the green flag back out here with just 2 laps to go, and we'll go into overtime here then. Another thing that I didn't put in the last video is that if I get over 10 seconds of damage, I will have to go down pit. If the caution came out, I'd have to actually pit whilst the green flag is out, so I can't pit when the yellow flag is out. So if everyone comes down pit road, I'm not allowed to do that. I have to go down pit road during the green flag. But whilst I was, when I restarted, I actually had quite a good restart until I decided to go into the middle lane, where Alex Bowman actually was extremely slow at. But I would just have to deal with it. But then Carl Busch came out of nowhere and really gave me a shove there. He was like a bulldozer. But I gained a few spots. Then we came to the white flag just for one more lap before we take the checkered. And I was hoping I could just somehow maybe get into the top 20 or something. I was trying to get to the inside lane with Kevin Harvick was still not clear, but I did not care because I wanted to get on that inside lane. So I managed to get clear of Kevin Harvick there then. When we came down that straight, I was hoping the caution would not come out here. Luckily that no caution had come out, so we actually came into the final turn here now, with just one more turn after this to go, and I was driving extremely aggressively now to get into back into that top 20, and the 43 match actually helped me out there quite a bit, which was good. Then it was quite a finish at the line between me and the 13, and if I did not pass 13, I would not have got the top 20. So luckily I did. But the winner of this race will be BJ McLeod, and a very big surprise that he won the race, because do not expect that from like a rookie kind of driver in the 2019 season. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will take the lead on the point standings, since clearly he done very well in the stages. But P20, not a bad start to the season, but not what I wanted, because I did not reach my goal then. But then we get 2 very good compliments from Ryan Truex and Chase Elliott there. But then the next racetrack will be at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but that one will not be coming out until tomorrow. So I'm really so here's a look at the standings again on the Cup Series, and P12 not bad, because if I didn't get those points in the stage, then I would have been very bad on the point standings. But again, the next video will not be out until tomorrow or the next day, so I will see you guys in the next episode at Atlanta Motor Speedway.